The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime. Inside, the little girl stood beside Alexander Richmond, her small hand clutching the strap of her backpack while her damp shoes left faint prints on the polished floor. Mr. Richmond rarely spoke to anyone outside his executive circle, but something about this moment, this fragile child standing quietly beside him, broke the walls he'd built over years of corporate armor. He pressed the top floor button, and as the elevator ascended, silence filled the space. "What's your name?" he finally asked, his tone softer than usual. "A Lily," she replied without looking up. "A Lily Hart." The name hit him like a whisper from another life. Hart. He swallowed hard, keeping his composure as the elevator dinged open to his private office, an expanse of glass, steel and silence that overlooked the storm-drenched city. He gestured to the couch. "The sit down, Lily." She obeyed, swinging her legs that didn't quite reach the floor. Her pink raincoat squeaked as she shifted, clutching the stuffed rabbit she had pulled from her bag. Mr. Richmond unfolded the letter carefully, the edges damp from her tiny hands. His eyes scanned the handwriting, neat, fragile, written with the elegance of someone who had once cared deeply about presentation but was now running out of strength. "Dear Mr. Richmond, you probably don't remember me, but years ago, I was your assistant, Emily Hart. You were building your empire back then, and I was there through every long night and every impossible deadline. When I left suddenly, I never had the courage to explain why. But now, I don't have much time left. My daughter, Lily, is all I have. I'm sick, and the medical bills have buried us. We're about to lose our home. I'm not asking for charity. I'm asking for forgiveness, for the way I disappeared, for the truth I never told you. Please, if you have any mercy left in your heart, help her. Emily." His fingers tightened around the paper. For a long moment, he couldn't breathe. Emily Hart. He remembered her, the only assistant who had ever managed to keep up with his ruthless work ethic, the one who used to leave notes of encouragement on his desk when the company was just an idea and not yet a global empire. She'd vanished one day, without warning. No resignation, no explanation, just gone. And now her daughter sat in his office. "Your mother worked for me," he said quietly. Lily nodded, her eyes wide. "She told me you were the smartest man she ever met. She said you'd know what to do." He turned away, walking toward the rain-streaked window. The rain-streaked window. The city lights blurred through the glass, distorted by water and memory. "Where's your father, Lily?" She hesitated. "Mom said he wasn't ready to be a dad. He left before I was born." The words pierced deeper than she could ever know. Mr. Richmond's jaw tightened, his reflection staring back at him, a man who had everything the world could offer, yet suddenly felt the weight of everything he'd lost. He looked back at her, at the same green eyes that once used to look up at him across a desk years ago. "Do you know what's wrong with your mom?" She said she's tired all the time. Sometimes she can't breathe right. Lily's voice trembled. She said it's the same sickness Grandma had." His throat tightened. "Does she have anyone helping her?" She shook her head. "It's just me now. I make her soup and read to her. She smiles and says she's proud of me." Her lip quivered, but she cries when she thinks I'm asleep. Alexander felt something stir inside him, something he hadn't felt in decades. Remorse. He pressed a button on his desk. "Claire, cancel my afternoon meetings." "La, all of them." Sir?" came the voice from the intercom, startled. "You have all of them?" He turned back to Lily. "You're going to take me to your mom?" Her eyes widened. "Really? Yes. Right now." The city streets blurred past as the black Bentley cut through the rain. Lily sat in the back seat beside the billionaire, still holding her stuffed rabbit. Every few minutes she glanced nervously at him, unsure if this man, this powerful stranger, could really help. Mr. Richmond sat silently, his thoughts tangled in guilt and questions. Emily Hart. The woman who'd once believed in him more than anyone. The one person who saw the man beneath the ambition. Why hadn't she told him? Why had she left? The car slowed in front of a crumbling apartment building on the city's edge. The walls were stained, the lights flickered weakly, and the smell of rain mixed with the faint scent of despair. Lily led him up the narrow stairs, stopping at a door with peeling paint. She turned the knob gently. "Mom, it's me." A faint voice replied from inside. "Lily, you're back already." Alexander stepped in behind her and froze. On a small sagging bed lay Emily Hart. Her hair had thinned, her skin pale and fragile, her eyes sunken yet still glowing with the same quiet warmth he remembered. When she saw him, her breath caught. "Hey, Alexander?" He nodded slowly. "Hello, Emily." Tears welled in her eyes. "You came." Lily climbed onto the bed and hugged her mother tightly. "Mommy, I told you he'd help. I brought him just like you said." Emily stroked her daughter's hair, her voice breaking. "Oh, you're such a brave girl. You're such a brave girl." Then she looked at Alexander, her expression torn between relief and regret. "I didn't mean for her to come," she whispered. "I thought maybe you'd just read the letter and forget. You have every right to." He stepped closer, his voice low and rough. "Forget you? Emily, you were the only person who ever believed in me before all of this existed." He gestured vaguely, as if pointing toward the empire he'd built. "Why didn't you tell me you were sick?" She smiled weakly. "You were busy conquering the world. I didn't want to be one more problem." "That's not fair," he said, his voice rising slightly. You just disappeared. I searched for you. Do you know what that did to me?" Her eyes filled again. "I thought it was better this way. I found out I was pregnant, Alexander, and I didn't want to trap you. You were chasing greatness and I was just..." His breath caught. "Pregnant?" Emily's gaze fell to Lily, who was quietly playing with her stuffed rabbit, humming softly. He turned toward the girl, his heart hammering in disbelief. Emily nodded, tears spilling freely now. "She's yours. She's yours." The room went silent except for the rain tapping against the window. Alexander felt the ground shift beneath him. Every business deal, every dollar, every moment of success suddenly meant nothing. In front of him stood the daughter he never knew existed, the child he never got to hold, never got to protect, never got to love. He sank into the chair beside the bed, his voice breaking for the first time in years. "Why didn't you tell me?" Emily reached out weakly, her hand trembling. "Because I knew you weren't ready then. You were so angry at the world, at yourself. I didn't want Lily to grow up in that shadow." He took her hand, gripping it tightly. "Emily, I would have changed everything." She smiled faintly. "People don't change, Alexander. Not until they lose something that matters." He bowed his head, silent tears falling onto her hand. "Then I guess I finally have." For the next few weeks, everything changed. Mr. Richmond personally arranged the best doctors in the city for Emily. She was admitted to a private hospital, her bills covered anonymously, but he visited every day, sometimes in silence, sometimes bringing flowers that Lily picked out. In his office, people whispered about how their ruthless CEO now spent hours away from the boardroom, walking a little girl to the hospital, carrying picture books instead of reports. He didn't care. He began to rediscover something long buried, the simple joy of connection. Lily made him laugh again. She drew pictures of their family, taping them to his office wall. The employees, once terrified of him, began to smile when she visited, her laughter echoing down sterile corridors that had never known warmth before. But despite the best efforts of medicine and money, Emily's health continued to fade. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, turning the city gold, Alexander sat beside her hospital bed. Lily had fallen asleep in a chair, her tiny hand resting on her mother's arm. Emily turned to him, her voice soft but steady. "Promise me something. Anything," he whispered. "When I'm gone, don't let her feel alone. She's brave, but she needs love. Real love, not the kind that's written on checks." His throat tightened. "I swear it." She smiled faintly. "You were always capable of more than you believed, Alexander. Maybe this is your second chance." He squeezed her hand, but before he could speak, she closed her eyes, her breathing shallow, peaceful. And in that quiet moment, surrounded by machines and city lights, the woman who had once been his light slipped away, leaving behind a little girl and a man who had finally found his heart. Months later, a new chapter began. The massive glass doors of Richmond Enterprises opened each morning to the sound of small footsteps and laughter. Employees smiled as Lily Richmond, now proudly bearing her father's name, ran through the halls, clutching a sketchbook filled with dreams. In the CEO's office, a framed photo sat on the desk, Emily smiling beside a much younger Alexander. Next to it was Lily's latest drawing, 3 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. When people asked why the once feared billionaire had changed, he only smiled and said, "Because one day a little girl walked into my office and reminded me what truly matters." And sometimes, late at night, when the rain fell against his windows just like that first day, Alexander would close his eyes and whisper to the memory of Emily, "I kept my promise."